Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Marion County Hardball. Rurik was not able to make it tonight. He was otherwise detained. He will be joining us next week, I'm sure. I wanted to ask everyone that is a regular viewer and enjoys the show, please go to the top of the Facebook page and buy us a coffee. Rurik gets none of that money. That all goes to the Marion County Messenger and helps us to keep bringing these shows to you. Tonight, we're here with Dave Thompson, who is running for County Commission.
I am.
Dave, tell us what seat you're running for.
I'm running for District 3, Seat C.
Seat C. And before we get into the serious questions, tell our listeners about yourself.
Well, first off, let me just thank you all for doing this program. It's a real honor for me to be able to speak directly to the citizens and share my thoughts with all of you here tonight. And I moved from Florida in 21. I've been a taxpayer here since 16.
Okay.
And we bought a house in Whitwell and built a house in Jasper Highlands, and we live there now. And I'm active in local politics and the local Republican Party, and I'm looking forward, and I think I'm really prepared to be a county commissioner now. I've spent most of my adult life learning and working in local government leadership positions, and I'm prepared to do this, and I want to share my thoughts with the citizens and viewers tonight.
Okay. Well, we're going to start off with your position on the ethics complaints that were filed a few weeks ago. Well, they've been filed more than a few weeks ago, but they were dealt with a few weeks ago. And I know at one point you'd asked to be put on the agenda, and you spoke about it. So why don't you tell everyone what your position is on the ethics committee hearings, and tell them why?
Sure. Well, there were 4 ethics complaints filed with our local committee, and I spent some time, and Mr. Gouger sent me them. Went up through a public records request, totally open, and he forwarded the complaints to me, and I read them, and I was disturbed by a couple of them. I thought they were rather less than forthright about what the problem was. The first 2 about the assets that got transferred to the bank with the money.
Okay.
Those ones really bothered me, and I spoke publicly at a board meeting well before the lawyer had a chance to speak that these didn't rise to the level of hurt feelings, and they were vindictive, I felt.
Okay.
And I made that statement publicly well before the lawyer had his chance to say that they should be dismissed. And then the other ones may or may not have had some legitimacy to them, but they were ultimately dismissed too. And the county spent, I think it was close to $7,500 hiring an outside attorney to review this and recommend that they be dismissed. And then we had all the hurt feelings and rumors and stuff for the past couple of years about this, and it all came for nothing. But what really kind of left me cold and a little disturbed was none of that. Was that the impression I was left with the whole matter was that 3 of the people that filed the complaints are now running to be county commissioners.
Okay.
And not one of them showed up to the meeting, the public discussion meeting, to share why they did this or why they thought their complaint was legitimate and should be considered by the board. And it left me thinking that those 3 people were not showing leadership skills that the county needs. I was disappointed in that. And I hope when we go forward that the people that filed those will show more forthrightness to the citizens. Okay. So I was concerned about that, and I hope those 3 people will think about my comments tonight and say, maybe Mr. Thompson was right. Maybe I should have at least shown up for the meeting.
Okay.
But they didn't.
Okay. So, would also, well, there has been a lot that went on with the Marion County Commission meeting this week.
Woo. You were in the news.
Yes, I was in the news. SR2.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple places, there's multiple pieces of this cake that we could cut off and discuss. Why don't we start off with SR2?
That's the $216,000 fix?
$216,000 fix on a pipe that was laid improperly. And laid improperly, let's back that up. It was not laid according to TDOT specifications.
Okay.
It was not laid where it was supposed to be laid. And it was done on a President's Day holiday when there were no state employees to check it. And the road was closed improperly and just happened to be found by a state trooper.
Okay.
So let's start there.
Well, okay, let's start there. These citizens have been waiting for water for darn too long. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate Mr. Brandt and Mr. Schaefer's attempt to say responsibility first, money later. Mm-hmm. I can appreciate that. But I can also appreciate the citizens needing their water. Mm-hmm. And if we were to wait, no telling how long, until we finally find a resolution to what happened here, these citizens aren't going to get water. So I support, let's get the water pipe done, and let's figure out what happened later. Now, the responsibility side of the later needs to be well defined. And I don't think that commissioners defined it well enough last night or earlier this week.
Okay.
And I hope that maybe next month that there'll be more discussion about this. But my belief is that the mayor or the chairman should include a line item on every agenda that is an update of State Road 2 water pipe.
Okay.
And that way that every month the citizens could hear from the chairman, the subcommittee, or the engineer of record, whoever it is, that here's where we're at, here's where we're at, here's where we're at, so that there is a connection to responsibility over the course of the next 3-6 months, and the subcommittee can review their documents and they can tell us where they're at with the investigation and discussion. That's the responsibility side. Mm-hmm. So the public deserves that responsibility side. And there's lots of rumors going around about what happened, but we need to wait to hear from Mr. Gouger and the subcommittee about what happened.
So one of my concerns, I'm unclear as to what mechanism is going to be used to investigate this.
I am too.
And so how would you propose investigating this?
What I would propose is that the committee that's been assigned to do so report to the public every month what they've done. And it could be something as simple as, we received a letter from the engineer of record this month that says this. And next month, we're going to go ahead and contact the state and determine who was responsible at the state. And we're going to interview the utility that was involved to see what their responsibility was. But we have to keep putting that on the board every month. Mm-hmm. And eventually, if nobody has anything to say, there's going to be some embarrassment about that, because my advice would be it doesn't come off the agenda until it's complete.
Okay.
I don't know if there's another path to that.
Well, I don't know either, other than the ethics committee, and I don't know that is a good path for that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that these people deserve water,
yeah,
and we need to fix this pipe. And if Marion needs to pay the $216 or what magically turned into $188 or less, I don't know what the price is, but we just need to fix this and move on and do better next time and fix our problems with the state so that our permitting system is appropriate, and we can start to talk about the next water project, because that's what I want to talk about, and I want to do a better job than we've done in the past.
Okay. Do you have, you say the next water project, do you have a next water project in mind?
Haven't got any idea what it is.
Okay. So you're just saying the next thing that comes down the road that needs to be done.
I think about tomorrow and next year and next decade all the time.
Okay.
And that's the only way I see to help our county get out of the situation it's in right now. If we keep talking about yesterday, we're never going to get to tomorrow.
Right.
And it's tomorrow that's important. And speaking of tomorrow or next year, those young men and women that came to the board meeting this week, I think they were in the Interact Club.
Yes.
They are remarkable.
Didn't they do a wonderful job?
Remarkable. And they put their program up on the TVs, and they showed their dollars, and they showed their hours. These are the things we need.
Yes.
Okay? And those young men and women showed that they are learning citizenship. They're learning accountability. They're learning to be strong men and women of Marion County. And I was very proud of what they did. And then they sat down and they listened to that meeting and they saw their leaders in a state of dysfunction. And I felt bad for those young men and women. And quite frankly, I hope that they go home tonight or go to school tomorrow and talk to their friends. You know, look what we did with our projects, and look what happened at the county meeting this week that we presented our plans at. And I just know that if they talk and they share those thoughts like that with their mom and their dad and their pastor and their teacher, everyone's going to realize it's time for a new board, it's time for a new leadership, it's time for Marion to move to tomorrow.
Yes.
And I want to be a part of that, and I hope that the voters will sense that in me and say, Mr. Thompson, I'm going to click your name on the ballot because we need to think about tomorrow. And I'm ready to think about tomorrow. And if I'm honored with being a commissioner here this summer, I want to personally invite those young men and women back to speak to the Board of County Commissioners and tell Marion where they want Marion to be in 5 or 10 years.
Good idea.
And I want to hear from them, and I want to hear what their goals and what they want Marion to be. And I hope that the board can listen to that and draw that line and say, you are smart. We need to hear from you.
Okay. Well, let's speak about some more of what went on Monday night.
Yeah.
What struck you? What would you like to talk about that happened in the county commission?
There's a couple little things. One was a little passing comment that I think went over or around some people, and one wasn't. The superintendent of schools made a passionate plea for his staff and team, and I appreciate that. But what I didn't understand, and maybe some other people didn't either, was the idea of what I heard was that a school administrator or senior staff member at the school district, or I guess the county level also, can pretty much say whatever they want on social media as long as they don't do it on county-owned equipment.
Yes.
Now, I honestly don't believe, I totally do not believe that the superintendent meant that cyberbullying is acceptable from his senior staff. I absolutely do not believe that, because he knows what cyberbullying can do to his students.
Right.
So I hope that we have some clarity from the school district soon about that. And I think the superintendent may owe us a comment or two about that. And I hope he does, because the impression that I was left with, and the impression we were left with at our subsequent Republican Party meeting on Tuesday night, was that certainly was what more than I heard.
Yes.
I mean, many people kind of referenced the same concern.
Yes.
And so I think we need to have some clarity on that subject from the school district. Yeah. And they may well have I'm sure they already have a social media policy. I don't know if they do or not, but
one would assume.
One would think that the students can't bully each other off campus and then go to school the next day. I would hope that's in place. I don't know if it is, but I hope we can clear up that one conflict in his presentation. The other thing that left me kind of interesting was a very passing remark from the chairman when he said he would. He's planning on introducing a social media policy for the board next month.
Right.
He said that, and that was all that was said. There wasn't any discussion about it, and I hope he does bring that forward. But I think my advice to the chairman, if he would listen to it, would be to bring it up under general discussion.
Right.
Okay. Not as a resolution that's been written and prepared by Mr. Gouger and ready for a vote tonight. I don't think that's the right way to bring forward a resolution or a plan for something of this nature. I think it falls also under things like Mr. Rurick's idea of tax cuts and all these sort of conceptual plans that I think we need, but they need to be discussed by the board in general during open discussion.
Right.
That then will give the public a chance, a month or two, chance to absorb it and speak to their county commissioners about it. And then we go to the board meeting with the prepared resolution that kind of reflects the general thoughts of what the board discussed. And we vote then. That's fair to the public.
Right.
And I think we're missing some of that. I mean, so instead of big resolutions coming up to the board without a public debate about them, and of course, I've said it before, the agenda is lacking in my view, that the citizens have no idea what these things are with a 3-word or a 10-word little description, and I hope we can get beyond that.
What is your feeling about items, and I've seen this several times in my coverage, items that are on the agenda and the board doesn't really discuss the items, but they vote to strike them from the agenda before the meeting?
Pick me. Okay, I was legitimately on the agenda. I think it was in November.
Right.
Okay, to speak to the board about the ethics complaints, what I said a few minutes ago.
Right.
And the board voted to me not to speak.
I did not remember that. I just want to tell the audience I did not remember that. So I'm glad that I asked you that question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And while I obviously didn't agree with the decision,
Right.
it's okay. Okay, that was the board's decision. And so I have no hurt feelings about it. I'm not making a stink about it. I'm not running to Mr. Gouger and say, hey, was this right or wrong? Blah, blah, blah. No, that's not me. Okay? I take my medicine and I move on.
Okay.
And so that was the board's decision at the time. I didn't think it was proper, but then I subsequently was able to speak and have my have my say in front of the committee. So it all works out. We just need to have more public discussion and more openness and fairness in our interactions with the public officials.
Okay. So, is there anything else that we haven't touched on from the county commission meeting? Oh,
Maybe we got a Facebook
we have
question.
a question.
Awesome.
Bear with us just a moment.
And for everyone's knowledge, I asked to have the Facebook comments turned on.
Okay.
So feel free to give me a buzz.
The Riverside Community Water Project hasn't been mentioned lately, and it has a couple of $1 million set aside for it. What would you recommend happening concerning this project?
I don't know what the Riverside Water Project is. I have to apologize to the listener. But if there's a couple of $1 million sitting aside for a Riverside project, why isn't the engineer of record telling us what that is or what our options are? Is the Riverside one the one that has to go to Dade County? Is that one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I am not familiar. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I'm not familiar with this project either. So it's Joy Blevins that sent the question.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Good evening, Joey.
I'm sure that if Joy Blevins sent the question, it's valid and it's out there.
Well, call us, Joey.
And but I do not know. I'm not familiar with the project at all.
I know there was another water line that had to go to Dade County, and I'm not sure where that one is either.
That is actually Egypt Hollow.
That's what they call Egypt Hollow?
Yeah,
Okay.
Egypt Hollow. And that is Riverside, if I'm not mistaken, is on the other side of the mountain.
Okay.
Like you're going to Chattanooga up 41.
Let me say this about water projects.
Yes.
I've been paying quite a bit of attention to local government, as any viewer would know, for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to all the meetings, and I look at the newspaper every month or every week, and I talk to my coworkers and my neighbors about this stuff. So I consider myself relatively well informed about local politics.
Right.
I do not understand all these water projects. As much as I have been listening to the debate and the discussion, I think it's time, and here Riverside Water Project certainly falls into that category. It's time for the engineers of record, whoever's planning these projects and talking about these projects, to come before the board and put them up on the TV and say, here's this one, it's got this much money, here's the challenges with it, here's this one and this one and this one.
We need a map.
With a map of showing where they are, what they're going to. We have the technology, we have this ability to do this, and that would educate the public and educate the commissioners and explain to them where these water projects are and what's missing and where the missing pieces are and who they can help. We need more communication about this and clarity about where these water pipes are and what projects are still open.
Okay.
Because
That's a good idea.
I don't understand them.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a little more clarity. Now, you wanted to speak about Mapleview.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was over there a month or two ago.
Right.
And it's a diamond.
Yes.
That thing is a diamond in Marion County.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked, the park is presently closed.
Right.
So I guess I trespassed, sorry. And I walked down through there, and I walked all the way to the end of the walkway out by the caves.
Cave. Yep.
And there was debris, there were leaves and branches, there was rotted timbers, the bathrooms were locked up and boarded up, and I think I saw some nasty graffiti on the backside, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, my goodness, okay, here we going into spring, and this place looks like this. Mm-hmm. And I guess that was the end of my thought, and I thought, oh, we got to do something. And then last week, I think it was, I read in the paper where Orm is financially strapped at that park.
Right.
I totally understand that. And
Orm?
Oh.
New Hope.
New Hope. No, I thought it was Orm. New Hope. New Hope is totally financially strapped on that park. Mm-hmm. And they're implementing paid parking this summer, I believe, to try and help defer some of those costs.
Right.
I got that. Mm-hmm. What I don't understand, and what I won't understand until I specifically ask this question, is why can't the mayor of New Hope call up the mayor of Marion County and say, could you please ask the sheriff to send half a dozen inmates over here with some rakes and a truck and a couple of gallons of paint and spend 3-4 days and clean this up for us and get this park ready for springtime for the citizens of Marion County. That's the way we should be working in every inch of public property here. I don't understand why we can't have inmates pressure washing our sidewalks, planting flowers around our courthouse. And if there's a concern about that happening, the county has a contract for ankle bracelets. We have it in place. You slap one on them. If they don't behave, back to jail.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know whether that passes legal stuff with Billy and with the sheriff, but I was down in Scottsboro last week having lunch, and I saw 4 inmates carrying debris out of a public building.
Right.
So I don't understand why we're not using these services.
I don't understand either, and I don't pretend to. However, I know with the road crew, if South Pittsburgh calls Corey to come down and work on a road here, the city of South Pittsburgh has to pay for that.
I understand that.
I would assume that if the city of South Pittsburgh, or if let's say the city of New Hope used a crew of inmates, they would have to pay for that somehow. It wouldn't be free. I don't know that.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't know that. Yeah.
But this is all Marion County.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm kind of tired of this is Marion County, this is Orem, this is Kimball, this is Jasper, this is New Hope. Come on, guys. Last I heard, the mayors don't meet.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that any way to run a $24 million annual budget of the Marion County? I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I'm here tonight asking the voters for their understanding of where I'm coming from. This may well be my last chance to speak directly to the citizens before Election Day.
Right.
And I'm here tonight to say it's time. I've seen this happen three times in my professional work of 40 years, where counties tend to get like this. And after 15 years of this, it's just time to move on to a new group. Our time is now,
Right.
and I hope the citizens see that and recognize that. Marion County is running a what I understand to be $25 million annual budget.
Right.
And I defy anybody to tell me what that money's being used for and any kind of real reasonableness, because there's no visual pie chart of our budget. Every high school kid that was there this week, knows what a pie chart looks like.
Right.
Except for the citizens of Marion County. And my view would be that pie chart of our budget should be on the front page of our budget book.
Yep.
And followed by a letter from the mayor and the chamber, followed by a letter from the mayor and the chairman of the board outlining the major priorities of this year's budget, followed by the 50 or 200 pages of budget detail. That's how you do a budget book.
Right.
And we don't have it.
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed in that too.
I understand.
And I would ask every day, I would advocate every day as a citizen of Marion County and a county commissioner for those things to happen.
Okay. Well, is there anything that you would like to say in closing, Dave?
Sure. I'm putting myself out there. I'm not afraid to answer a question directly. I think you heard that tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not here saying we all just need to get in a room and work it out. Mm-hmm. That's not going to work. Mm-hmm. Okay? Problem's too deep here. Mm-hmm. And I offer the citizens specific, actionable, discussable options to our challenges here in Marion. I hope the citizens will hear that and realize the citizens of District 3 will hear that and say, Mr. Thompson is the person we want on that board. I hope you will do that. I ask for your vote, and I will honor your vote, and I will share my thoughts and wisdom and knowledge with each of you, as I hope you will with me too.
When does the primary start?
First vote's April 15th.
Okay.
And then the election is on May 5th.
Okay.
4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on tonight, Dave.
Let me say one more thing.
Oh, yeah, say one more thing.
Duke, what you're doing for our community is absolutely remarkable. And whatever help Mr. Hogan is being helpful here in hosting these, I'm amazed by what this is doing for our community and helping us be more communicative and helpful and open to the citizens. And I'll address one more subject. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
There's I've heard all the talk. This is biased. This is you're slanted as a Democrat. Whatever, And I am here totally comfortable speaking. I'll talk to anybody, anytime about the future of Manatee and about the future of Marion. And I don't want to talk about yesterday.
Right.
Okay. We need to be focusing on the future of Marion County, not the past. And that's what your board needs to do. And that's what I will be doing.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, and thank you for coming on.
Oh my gosh, I
I
hope
want to go ahead.
I hope that if I'm elected and honored to be a commissioner, I hope you'll invite me back as an active commissioner.
We will absolutely invite you back, and that brings up a point I want to make. We want to invite anyone that is running for office to come on and talk to us on Marion County Hardball. We have had Marion County candidates so far, but Jackson County is just about 3 miles that way.
Yep.
And if you're in Bridgeport or Stevenson watching this, we'd love to have you come on as well. We invite any elected official, regardless of party affiliation, to come on and talk with us. And of course, I would like to ask you, if you enjoyed tonight's interview, please go to the top of our Facebook page and buy us a cup of coffee and help us out.
Will you be hosting a mayor debate after the primary?
We are going to be working on some roundtables with different candidates. We hope to have some mayoral debates. We hope to have some county commissioner debates.
I hope so.
Yeah. So we will be doing that, and we've got plans working on that right now.
Awesome, and I look forward to participating in those.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure.
Mm-hmm.